If you're in the home buying process, you are watching houses, and sometimes you'll see that they go from active under contract. And remember, we talked about that, how active under contract means that they're in their due diligence typically, and that due diligence is about 7 to 10 days long. And then after that is when they start showing up as pending. So during that due diligence, that's when they are going to do a couple things as a buyer. First of all, they're going to get a home inspection. They're going to submit the rest of their documents to the lender. The lender is going to give them what they call a good faith estimate that tells them, here's what your payment's going to be. Here is what your cash to close is going to be. And for buyers, when they get all this information, two things happen. Number one, the house passes the home inspection and they're good with everything. We might had to negotiate a little bit if we had to negotiate some repairs, but overall they were satisfied. They got the information from the lender and they're satisfied with the payment and how much cash they have to have for closing, and they actually have it, so that's a good thing. Or something happens out of those two. It could be that they did the home inspection and something scared them. Now, when I say something scared them, depending on their level of what they were looking for in a house, it could terrify them, but you might be perfectly fine with it. It could be so overwhelming, or you might look at it as, oh, I can live with that. So let me give you an example on that. So like recently, we had a house that went under contract, and when they did the home inspection, they terminated and said it was due to the home inspection. Now, this was a house that we had listed, so I had been in the house. It was fairly new. Everything looked in great condition. So I asked the agent, well, what was it? I mean, they don't even want to try to work it out. And she said, no, there was just so many things wrong with the house. And I was like, really? So she started listing off the things that were wrong with the house. Well, these were things that I would say are common to a house that's been lived in before. So, yes, it was in need of painting on the inside. Yes, there was the window around the front door that it gets that foggy look when the seal breaks. Yes, it still had laminate countertops, not granite. So they found those things wrong, but honestly, they should have saw those things when they made the offer, because they were all what we call visible to you when you see it. But for them, they decided they didn't want to put the money into fixing those things. So we went back on the market and somebody else snapped it up because they were fine with those things or fine with fixing those things. So when you see houses come back on the market, you have to know, even if it's due to the home inspection, it might not be that big of a deal. And if it is a big enough deal that they have to disclose it on the seller's disclosure, you're going to know what it is. So like we had a house that they found a leak. We didn't know we had a leak. And when they found the leak, of course, the sellers got it fixed because they don't want to be living in a house with a leak. Another reason people terminate during due diligence can be that when they get that payment, so they see what the payment's going to be with the taxes, they see what it's going to be with the homeowner's insurance, then they go, you know what, that's a little bit more than we wanted, so we're going to drop our price point down. Or we're going to find a house where the taxes aren't so high or the insurance isn't so high. Because there are ways to do that. Like if you buy a house and there's a swimming pool in the backyard, your insurance will be higher than if you buy a house without a swimming pool. Just little things like that can make a difference. So when you see these houses come back on the market, I don't want you to think something's wrong with the house. It could just be it wasn't the right house for that buyer, but it could be a great opportunity for you.